Boom, boom, boom. Hello, hello, hello. I hope everybody is fine. Well, I've got a bit. I want to talk about what's been happening on my other channel, but also I'm gonna have a little bit of a play as well because I need to make that. Oh, what happened there? Let's get rid of that. There you go. Adverts coming up. Blimey, it's about right, isn't it? So yeah, I've got to how to put it, organise what's going on my other channel. Well, I've been looking at the rules. Yeah, policy, YouTube policies. Oh my god, it's quite bad. You know, I can see so many YouTubers going to end up getting in a bit of trouble. Is that much light on me there? There isn't. Let me just move this light. And I am going to make a do a live stream about it actually. Once I get back, probably Tuesday, I think it is next week. I'll be live again, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'll be Tuesday. Might be Monday evening, but it'll be definitely Tuesday. Anyway, I might do a live video, probably maybe on Wednesday, before the Snowflake show, or even Tuesday before Max's live show. So the point being is that I want to go through the policies and what some of the other YouTubers have been finding, because creators are getting stuffed big time by YouTube. I mean, YouTube has just gone mega political. And as a result, you know, they ain't going to make no money. And it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the biggest YouTuber out there. I know some people, hello Giraffe, Ginger's Giraffe. I know some YouTubers are going to say, oh, well, you know. Or some people are going to say, well, the big YouTubers are very right. No, sitting everybody. The algorithms, no discrimination whatsoever. It's just, yeah. The only discrimination is basically what's in that policy, and it's tough. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to be able to continue on the other channel, to be honest. I really don't. Anyway, I'm gonna make a baby Yoda as well. Yeah, I don't know how people can continue. It's not just the you can quite easily get strikes, and how it works is if you get a strike like I did, I got two. You get one as a warning, and then within a day I got another one, which then basically became my first strike as far as they're concerned, and that basically took my channel down for a week. And then if I get another one, I'll get 2 weeks strike. So it'll start again, but it'll be 2 weeks. If I get another one, if I get 3 in 90 days, that's it, the channel's over. There's nothing I can do about it. Don't matter who you are, I don't matter how big your channel is or anything. You're up at the end of it. And trying to talk to these people is impossible. Just to get through to anyone is impossible. And when you try the if you try the online chat, well, forget it. The bot. They say it's not a bot, but it's a bot. It's definitely a bot. And I'll show that. I recorded the chat, so I'll use that in my live stream when I go back live on the other channel on all shorts. But yeah, this affects everybody, so you've got to be careful. So careful what you say. I mean, literally, I know people, all right, have had their channel demonetized or their video demonetized, not a strike, but demonetized, since this new policy coming, for their cat purring on the countertop. Yeah, cat purring. Well, actually, it was an angry purr. It was more like a hissy kind of. Yeah, anyway, it's a cat angry on the countertop. Why it's on the countertop, I don't know. But anyway, it's on the countertop and it's angry. Anyway, it got taken down. Well, not taken down. It got demonetized. Now you're talking about channels that this is quite a big channel as well. Actually, I think he's got like 1.7 million subscribers. He's got a lot of subscribers. Louis Rossman, his name is. Should I turn it on? Another big channels as well, and one guy I follow quite a bit is Linus Tech, and he does a lot of tech, computer tech type stuff, reviews and stuff like that. And I find it all very interesting. And he did a video actually as a live stream, and that's so funny because he's doing his best to get it demonetized, for which he obviously did, using the F word and stuff like that. Profanity and stuff like that is not, you don't get strikes for, but if it's considered as hate crime and hate, or anything like that, anything like hate. Like, for instance, in this case, one of my videos that got a strike was basically me talking the truth about Piers Morgan. This is common knowledge that Piers Morgan, well, he was photographed with Charlie Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell side by side. And all I said was, Piers Morgan associated with, Charlie Epstein, or with sex offenders, because that's what they are. They're convicted sex offenders. Got struck off. Got a strike side. Got a strike for it. Hence, got took down for a week. Lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Now, my channel's quite tame in comparison to a lot of those channels out there. So God knows how they're going to fare. Oh my God, I said the God word. Is that profanity? Is it blasphemy? Maybe. I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what. You can say now, according to the policy. Couldn't used to say it before. You can say damn and hell. Seriously. But all profanity, let's say for us to use the N-word, which obviously I would never use. But if you use the N-word, it'd be considered the same as some lame, like the A word. That word for the derriere. Considered the same. Obviously, with regard to monetization, they're just trying to protect the so-called advertisers. But not all advertisers are bothered. But the strikes are just literally, they're pretty horrendous. And what I've done as a result, I've took down, so I've privated 3,000 videos. It took me a day and a night. I had 2 hours sleep to do it. Because you can only do 50 at a time and you have to wait for it to do it. And it's so slow. It's not the computer, it's their server. So it was very frustrating. It's been a very frustrating week. But although I have put some shorts up on my All Short Shorts channel. So that's okay. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. I can see it happening. A lot of YouTubers are going to move away from the YouTube Partner Program, which is the program which you basically join into so you get paid for advertising on the platform. Well, for me, the ideal scenario would be to say, okay, then I'm not going to monetize my videos, so I carry on doing what I do. You know, I can't do any hate speech or anything like that. I can't call Piers Morgan a sex offender or anything like that. But oh no, I've probably just got a strike. I kid you not. Probably. You can say anything at all. The algorithm will pick it up, and you've got to appeal against it. The problem is you can't defend your appeal. It's just literally you press appeal, and then they look at it. In this case, most likely the bot will look at it and say, "Okay, then yeah, no, still not gonna let it go." I've heard of people having their videos taken down, or getting strikes for saying the word coming, as in I am coming to you. Yeah, because the bot doesn't understand, you see. It doesn't get dialect either. So I reckon that lots of YouTubers will move away from monetizing their videos and heavily go into like Patreon and stuff like that, or donation-based models. Or move away from the platform altogether. I don't think this is going to fare well for YouTube. I really don't. Gaming channels, well, flipping hell. Oh, I said hell. Hell's okay, isn't it? I forgot about that, yeah. Gaming channels, well, they're completely utterly stuffed, to be frank. Most gaming channels have profanity, the F word, or they swear a lot, don't they, on gaming channels while they're playing games. But it's just that, no. If they show any gore or anything like that, that's actually on a computer game, like Grand Theft Auto. Your grandma gets run over by someone trying, I don't know, someone trying to carjack or something, I don't know, something like that. No, not allowed. You can't show it anymore. You can't. Gun sites. I'm not into guns and what have you, but if you get a legitimate gun site They're trying to show, I suppose, you know, in the United States it'd be normal. Well, you'd hope it'd be normal. But people in the United States would follow channels that hopefully would promote sensible gun ownership. Hopefully. Well, even those channels, they're stuffed. Because they can't even show putting the clip into the gun anymore. They can't do that. They can't screw on silencer or anything like that. It comes under modifications or whatever. Obviously, that doesn't bother me too much. We're just trying to make a point, really, that, you know, anyone who thinks they're going to be able to get ahead on YouTube these days, especially a new channel, young channels, are going to find, because it's a learning curve, you see, and you're going to get struck off before you get a chance to actually find your way. How many people signed that thing? I'll tell you what I did recently. Yeah. I didn't when I signed it, but because there the new policy come in, everyone had to sign this new policy, yeah? Otherwise you can't be in the partner program. Okay, so I signed it without looking at it. Anyway, I looked at it the other day. I did the strange thing. You know what it was? I read it. I pressed on it. I actually read it. It isn't very long, actually. It doesn't take long to get through. But, oh my God, they can even do chargebacks. So if they've been paying you on advertising revenue, and they consider that video is doesn't fit on their platform, or it's fraudulent, they can take the money back. Now, a little channel like mine isn't going to make no difference whatsoever, is it? But you get like a large channel that might be maybe they got £10,000 off one video that they put up. Quite possible. You know, it does happen quite a lot, actually. In fact, you got Mr. Beast and those sort of videos where they rake in huge amounts of money. What if you want to do a charge back on that? And if you say, okay, I'm not going to let them have the money at the bank because I'm going to keep the bank account I'm using for my my AdSense account, I'm going to keep that as though it's like no money in it. Don't make any difference because you got next month's revenue. Remember, you're a month behind with YouTube, so you got next month's revenue. They just take it out of that one. You just won't earn anything. That'll shut loads of Hey, cheers, thank you. Who was that? Hello, Mad Monk. I'm talking to myself. I thought I was talking to myself for a minute. Anyway, Gingers. Hello, Marcus. Lefty Boat, hi, and so no noisy cats on your channel. Nope, no noisy cats. Got noisy dogs. Is that allowed? It's just daft. That's ridiculous. Maybe they thought it was maybe they thought it was like like a saucy, some kind of like sound recording of some kind of human on human activity. What do you reckon? I've got to be careful what I say. I don't. Yeah. The SEX and profanity. It's not allowed anymore on YouTube. It's just you've got to be so careful. Even the Snowflake show, not last week, but just gone, but the week before, they did one going about like rude place names and stuff. Technically, that could at least get demonetized, even though they're not monetized yet, or get a strike. At least demonetized. It's just end of the day, okay. We've already got a YouTube Kids. Why don't we just get rid of YouTube Kids and just have it YouTube Kids for all, or YouTube Kids and adults? It's just got ridiculous. And because what I do in my videos, I know I take the mick out of people. I know I'll call people like fat, even though I'm fat because I'm fat, you see. But also other stuff like, for instance, I called Kate, who was on the Also Shorts channel, Kate Hoey. I called her a wrinkly prune. Well, that's pretty low key, isn't it? Is that really that offensive? It's just, if anything, it's just a description of what she looks like. So no name calling is allowed anymore. So that's got to go completely. So I can't call people names. So we go on about freedom of speech, don't they? Those on the right. Freedom of speech, they go. And look what's happening. Everything's becoming oversensitized, and YouTube is becoming very political. So I don't know what the future of the channel holds, to be honest, because I can't at the moment. I don't really know how I can change things without being lame, without being really boring. There's plenty of boring YouTube channels about Brexit and stuff like that up there, isn't there? There's loads of them. But look on the bright side. Alexander Boris Ethel Johnson's decided that It's a good idea for Ukraine to join the EU. Oh dear. Shooting road signs. Oh, who's Zebediah Thomas? Hello, buddy. Mad Monk for you. Hello, Mad Monk. A lot of gamers use Twitch to stream. They do. They stream to Twitch, but then they put it on YouTube as well. There's one called DM or TJ Game. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. They do. I've looked at Twitch. I already had an account with them. I didn't realise. Ian Gallagher, hello there. Good afternoon to you too, mate. So yeah. So anyway, let's cut this out, and I'll have another little whinge in a minute. I don't know if anyone's got any ideas. It's really annoying though, because it's well, it's obviously annoying, but I'm quite reliant on the money. So a whole week and no money. That's not be helpful, is it? Is that blowing it out? There we better. Not cut the bottom off because I've got to fix it by something, you see. It's a phone holder is what it's going to be. I've already done the base. But I thought I'd go live. I'm not following the line exactly, it's just artistic license, I suppose. It's a Baby Yoda. It's like all these platforms, I think, you know, whether they be video or whether it be Etsy and stuff, they're all out to screw you. They really are. Oh my god, I said screw you. Oh my giddy aunt. That's it, that's me demonetised. I think I'm a kid, and that's how pathetic it's got. You have, yeah, it's online. You've got to have a look. I'll go through it when I go live next week when I'm channeled back on All Shorts. It might be quite a funny one actually. I don't know what to do. But I bet even like Max and even Phil and people, I bet they haven't really looked at the detail of these things yet. Because even they use profanity sometimes. You can't use the F word. You use the F word, that's it. You're demonetised straight away. All the B word. All the C word. All the A word. And when I say B word, I didn't mean Brexit either. That'll be next. La 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 la. I've ordered another camera to replace this one because that will put back in my office because it's not very good in here. Struggles with the highlights for some reason. You know, everything is blown out. So I found that the other day. And besides, I'm not really happy having that in there because it's quite an expensive camera and it's good in the workshop, in the office, where I can control the lighting better. In here, whereas these ones, those ones, that one, I have to admit is and they're dead cheap as well. I can't believe how cheap they are. They're brilliant. Be 4 of them I bought then. I've been playing around with ideas and ways to have a reliable way to switch between the cameras. I've been trying Touch Portal, but it's a bit glitchy. The actual connection between the device. You have your software on the computer, but then you've got your software on your phone, the app on the phone, and you can then click buttons on your phone, and you can switch between the cameras that way. And although it seems like a great idea, it's easier doing it with hotkeys. I'll say it's easy. It's I tell you what is good about Touch Portal. You can do groups of things. So, like for instance, you can make it so as it goes from one thing to the next, something happens in between, or vice versa. Or you can change things. But if it's glitchy and doesn't always work, it's not very helpful, is it? So I'm going to go for simplicity. So I've got a spare keyboard over there, which I'm literally going to rip to pieces and connect up all the hotkeys into a box. Or I might put one hotkey with every camera on there in the vicinity of like one over there, one over there, one over there. So as I walk over there, I can then just switch camera over. Once I've got this cut out, what have you, and sanded up, I'm going to we'll be doing some sharpening. I've got loads of I've got a whole lot of carving chisels, so we're going to be doing some carving at some point. Not today, but I used to do a lot of carving at one time. It'd be nice to get the hand back in. So I've got another set of cheapy carving chisels, but also got the old ones as well. Because you used to use like 3 chisels, originally for carving. I do most stuff with that, to be honest. My gate that I built to keep the dogs from upstairs, so I made when I had my operation actually here in France. I carved a serpent on the top. It's literally got a snake on the top. Really good. Right, so what I haven't done is I haven't cut off around the bottom of that. Oh, that comes closer. I haven't cut around the bottom of that because I need something to fix to. So I need that flat. So I ignored that. So I've got that flat bit there. Yeah, so literally like so, and I can decide on what angle I want. So this is a good way, you see, of making use of your scraps. And down here, I've got my gun. Oh, there's a drill without a drill bit in it. Where's the drill bit gone? Ooh, that's pesky. Let me just go get a drill bit. Da 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 da. Probably needs a new battery. You can actually buy a special drill to this, so it makes it at 90 degrees. But the space is big enough to make sure I get it near enough. Also do it in the middle. The middle of the holes, that'll be fine. I've got cutouts where the eyes are. La 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 la. A little space for it down here. Maybe you can see it, they can't. I'll show you. So I've got all that rigged up down the bottom here. Look, I've moved this camera. This one's actually hanging, this camera. So I've got where my little drill is. See the pedal, the yellow pedal, which I've rigged up from rigged up as a foot pedal. And then on the back there's, if you hear that hum, that is actually the pump that blows air to keep the place dust free. This is going to wobble about now. That's not quite right. There we go. Right, let's see what we've got here now. La 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 la. Mike McGurk, Gingers, what about saying nailing? Oh my god, that's one word we can use. We can use that. Yeah, but what about context? Hello, Vicar. Oh yeah, oh whoopee, we're all in multicolory, he says. Oh yeah, we've got 2 cameras on the go at the minute. Yeah, there's 5 cameras. Well, there's 5 cameras in. This one is going to be going back into the office, and I've ordered another one of those ones to replace this one probably, or I might swap it with the one over the bench. I don't know yet. Because those ones here are much wider. These are really wide, really, and they still give you fairly straight lines, which I'm really impressed about for the money. Normally, you get a wide angle webcam like that, they end up making all the lines rounded like a fishbowl, like a fisheye. Hello, Simon says, hi. Change your cursors. What I need code words. That's what I've got to do. So everybody gets to know what they are. Maybe have a list of the code words on another site somewhere, and you can link to what they mean. I don't know. So maybe I've got to replace everything with different words. Like you'll be when I say the F word, I'll say feck. But I think the algorithm will get confused and assume that I've said, because it doesn't mean anything, you see. So they'll probably assume I've said the naughty word. So I might have to think something different. Oh, SD! Wanted to say hi from the family of me. Rose is looking to move to Discord. Fighting a YouTube ban is hard. Oh! Okay. What about... There's also Patreon as well. Apparently you got my videos there now. I don't know how good it is. So you changed your name to SD. Hello, SD. Yeah, so it's... Oh, so Rose is looking to move to Discord now. What, from YouTube? You can't fight YouTube ban. Hello, Joe. Hi. Yeah, there's no fighting YouTube bans. You can appeal, but you're more likely to lose. If you've got some weight behind you, you might be able to get somewhere. What I'm saying, well, I don't mean you've got to be fat. I mean, you've got, like, for instance, a big channel or something, PewDiePie or something like that, you'll get somewhere, possibly. You know, because they want your money. You threaten to go somewhere else, they're not going to be very happy, are they? Because big advertisers pay a lot of money. But small guys, you know, like pretty much anyone doing Brexit type stuff, well, they'll be, well, there's just no hope. There isn't. Believe you me. Mad Monks know what I'm talking about because I showed him, but my conversation with the chat was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was just... Oh, it's just ridiculous. They didn't answer the question whatsoever. My question wasn't about being reinstated. I haven't even tried to appeal this video, the last video, pretty much because I know what's going to happen. And also, I don't want to kick up too much of a fuss because there's a big gaming channel, something games. I can't remember, it's SD Games or LD Games or something. He's quite a youngish chap, little skinny fella. He's got quite a big gaming channel, and he was saying that it wasn't until he complained or kicked up a fuss about it that they said, okay, there's a problem here, then okay, yeah, all your other content is going to be demonetized too. So he believes that if he didn't say anything, that might only just been that one video that was a problem. But no. They pretty much demonetised. He reckon, well, as he was watching and refreshing it, the channel's becoming demonetised. He's quite big on Twitch though, so he's not going to be uploading on YouTube for a while, so that's going to affect YouTube's revenue stream as well, isn't it? You know, what YouTube needs to understand is that it wasn't for the creators, the people who make the videos or bother to do, you know, to press record. What is YouTube? YouTube's nothing. In some ways, if I understood this earlier on before I agreed to the policy, what I should have done was, I should. Well, I don't know. I'm not big enough to even do it, to say anything. But YouTubers should have gotten like a mass strike. We like strike action, don't we? A mass strike for YouTube. So basically, don't sign the policy. Look for revenue elsewhere. YouTube would have to do something then, wouldn't they? All the big creators decided they weren't going to upload any more videos or monetize and do the audience pay for, where you pay, like a subscription or something like that. When you think some of these YouTubers have got like millions of subscribers, if everyone only paid like, I don't know, a couple of quid a month or something like that, they still make a huge amount of money. Although they probably earn more than that anyway, but... But a lot of the big YouTubers are always using cuss words. Oh yeah, can't show any bodily fluids. So what about the Mrs. Pimple, whatever her name is? A woman who squeezes zits on people's faces and backs and stuff. What about her? She's got like, well, last time I looked, she had like 5 million subscribers. Oh, she's probably got like 15 now or something stupid. And all she does is squeeze spots and use all these tools to dig in the back and get all their guts. Yeah, there's bodily fluids. You can't do that anymore. That is a strike action. That is. The problem is when you've got a lot of videos up, and the only way you can actually either make them private or whatever, or that's what I've done. I made all my videos private. I've only got 39 videos on my channel now. I privated 3,000 videos. I'll tell you something, that's no mean feat. Then you do 50 at a time, and the system like that, watching, waiting for it to happen. It takes about 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes every 50 videos. So you've got to do that 60 times. Oh, God. And then you forget where you are. So you're constantly filtering your channel page, your list of videos, to get all the ones that are currently public. And then that becomes even more difficult because some of the videos you might want to leave because you know they're okay. It was hell. I think when I started doing that, was it Monday I started doing it when I got my strike in the morning. And I worked on that all day and then all night. I got 2 hours. So I worked on most of half the day. So I started at lunchtime. Worked until the middle of the night until I basically fell asleep at the computer. Woke up again and carried on until I managed to do them all. Flipping hell, I was so tired. You think, yeah, what's the point? Why am I doing this? And then I hear that it probably won't make a lot of difference anyway. So there is a possibility the channel could get struck off completely. Because even private videos, and even, well, one person told me, I've got my doubts, that even deleted videos can still be struck off because they've been on the platform. So, yeah, it's a mess. The thing is, they've done this retrospective. When we upload our videos, they complied with the algorithm. You know, they get checked. You see, they get checked. Oh, they complied with the policy. Sorry. So this is all retrospective. So they've changed the policy. Literally changed the policies to make it more advertising friendly and what have you, I suppose, as well. But all our videos we uploaded before the date is also going to come under the new policy. Well, how the hell? You can't edit. Don't forget, you can't edit your videos properly online. And YouTube, whenever you do try to edit using the YouTube editor, it takes absolutely forever. I mean, you might as well go to bed for the night, wake up in the morning, and it's done. Remember, it's their server, not mine. So yeah, I'm very disenchanted with all. Obviously, to the point of thinking, why bother? Because that channel's already had lots of ups and downs in the course of last year already. So to be yeah, to be hit again, it ain't just me, it's everybody going to be hit on this. So the thing is, once you get one, they'll go through. They'll literally comb through your site. And the problem with that is it doesn't give you enough time when you realise it's a problem to actually sort the problem out. So they don't say to you, oh, okay, can you sort this out, or can you address this problem? And the video's not live until you do. No, they don't do that. They just give you strikes. If you ask me, this is all a little bit, you know, authoritarian. Awful? Awful. I can't even say it. Authoritarian, whatever it is. They're trying to control us, they are. I think it's a big mistake on YouTube's part. I think they're going to get hit hard by it. Because so many big YouTubers are saying, well, no, not anymore. Bing! Oh, that music it is. That music to my ears. Is that like, okay. Got a bit of a, what's it like over there? I think, is it alright? I think it's alright, yeah. That screen's a bit, I'm about to look at an angle on this screen over here and it looks a bit dark. I think that's because I'm looking at an angle. But anyway. Do eyeballs now. I'll get my eyeballs on. Talk about getting eyeballs on. Let's see what everyone's saying. Who's here? I think there's a loss. I think they're loss. Yeah, they're going to lose a lot. Sorry, they're going to lose a lot of money. I think they will. I think YouTube is going to find this. It's a bit like Google. They're saying that Google, you know, oh, the founder of not Google. Who was it? I think what was it Google? One of the founders, anyway, of something, of another platform, was saying that he believes that Google's going to run right down in the next 2 years because of ChatGPT, you know, the AI algorithm. I've got my doubts, to be honest. I think people will get wise to it because unless it does actually learn its mistakes, it messes up a lot. Because I've been using it quite a bit recently for like product descriptions and stuff like that for my websites. And although it's brilliant, it is brilliant. I'm not going to deny it. It's absolutely brilliant. It messes up a lot. It makes really stupid errors. And on the bottom it says regenerate. You regenerate, I give you a different answer. Literally chalk and cheese answers. So it's not infallible by no means. Even to that. Oh, who was it now? I was doing a product description for not product, no, a little bit for one of my blogs. It's an old blog. I was just refreshing it. I thought, I'll have a look at ChatGPT and see what it comes up with. It's great for giving you ideas. You see. Anyway, I did. I thought, hang on, they're not the founders of Feztool. They got the founders wrong. That's a fundamental mistake. It's a major mistake. So you can't trust it by no means. But it does say that. Obviously, they do say that. But people will. People say that's it. Oh, ChatGPT says this. A bit like Tories. Oh, that's what Tories say. Oh, the media. That's what the media says. Printed, so it must be true. When you've been doing this with the blade here, what you've got to do is you mustn't force the blade. What happens if you do, you end up with a cut. That's at an angle for a start. So you've got to work, you've got to push it through with the blade, but you've got to allow the blade to sort of recover. So if you are pushing back on the blade, you've got to allow it to come back to itself. So you mustn't keep push, because eventually you'll create heat. So the blade will get hot, and then it will break. Oh, Wally! I didn't see him there. Hello? What? What do you want? Was it? You know you're getting fat. I'm losing weight and you're gaining it. Yeah, I've lost a little bit of weight. Can't be a bad thing. Yum, 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 yum. No. Yum, 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 yum. He's doing this with his paw. What's that? Over there. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, good boy. Right, you know, one in a second, alright? Hmm? Don't give me the eye. Why just give me the eye? Oh, the eye's got to cut his eye out. It's clean. Yeah, that's right. That's good. One more eye. I'll sand that, paint that, and then we'll do some sharpening. Had to make some more those wooden bolts today as well. I did. So it was while I was doing other stuff, trying to clear the workshop out. I'm trying to got so much rubbish in here. It's got in a bit of a mess. Did he? Oh, come back. Come back. Oh, there we go. I've got 24-hour YouTube comment ban. Oh my god, really? For posting a comment telling someone how to use Windows shortcut combination of keys. What? Were you saying the F key a lot? F this and F that? Doing function keys? That's nuts. Oh, dear me. Hi, Vicar. Wally, yeah, he's my little Wally. The problem is that all the big platforms, have been told to fix their platforms to be kid-friendly, or legislation will be put in place. So they are going to The problem with that, Susan, YouTube has already got that policy in place. They've already got YouTube Kids, but also YouTube has already got a part on there where if you're not careful, you're if you get listed as no, you have to get authorization to say you're old enough. You have to have a government, or like for instance, a passport, and upload a passport before you can do the video. Well, then people on the vote, which is obviously going to hit monetization as well, because you won't get the views. So you'll all have to prove that you're old enough on certain videos, and that's already happening. Kid friendly, yeah. It's obviously EU rules are quite tough as well, and they're gonna come down hard on Twitter and on Elon Musk, aren't they? He reckons they comply, but they don't. Yeah, they've got to fix their platforms, legislation, and obviously we've got the online, what they call protections bill or something to do, which is, these are just all smoke screens to be able to get those other policies through, other bills through at the same time, or hidden within the bill. Oh, by the way, I got COVID. Yeah, apparently, Caroline had COVID. Now I've got COVID. I've come down with a bit of a cold. It feels like a cold to me at the moment, but I am vaccinated. Because kids don't hear this stuff from their parents. Yeah, exactly, Gingers. Yeah, and then there's no kids haven't got these things either, is it? No. They've already got access to all this stuff. They say worse things than we do. They know more than we do. They really do. A lot of kids say do a lot worse, yes. It would have me on the naughty step with a bar of soap in my mouth. Oh dear. Oh dear. One of my brother's first words was a swear. Oh, okay. Because I how mother talked. Very good. Yeah, it's just that's how it is, isn't it, I suppose. The problem is that big platforms, yeah, for them it's the advertisers, because most of it stems back with the like the profanity, and that is to do with demonetization. It doesn't mean to say the stuff isn't on there; it'll still be there. But hate speech and stuff like that, like for instance, when I said that Piers Morgan is a sex offender, not sex offender, when Piers Morgan is associated with sex offenders, obviously they considered that as hate speech. That's what they said, hate speech. But the bit they actually flagged, so that they flag part of the video where they say the offending part is, it didn't even line up where the problem was. It's just, you just don't know where you are with them. You really don't. Now, if I was actually honest with you, I've said this before probably, but if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't do YouTube. I wouldn't have started. I would have stuck with my blogs. It's very annoying actually, because I was doing my blogs and what have you, and we were starting earning money from that to the point where that we were earning enough, and just from affiliated links and what have you to Amazon what have you for products, and it kind of went to the wall, didn't it? Because I was doing started doing YouTube All Shorts channel, so everything else started to take the back burner, and now that's hard hit. I don't get nowhere near the amount of money each month from that. So nowhere near. In fact, about a tenth of what we were getting originally. Saying that, it's still passive income. It's still got money coming in, even though I hadn't done anything on those sites. It's not bad, really, is it? I suppose you build something up. The problem with YouTube is you feel that you're building a castle on sand. If you think you're going to build up something big on YouTube, and they're just going to change the policies and retrospectively apply them to all your past videos, you're going to be undermined, aren't you? You literally are building a castle on sand. The thing is, YouTube won't roll back on the policies. If they did do anything, they'll do it kind of, I think, a hush hush. They'll soften without you knowing. If they find out their revenue's been hit. Because all very well saying, oh, more advertisers are going to advertise with us, but if you've got a lot less new material, fresh material. You see, old videos don't do anything. They do very little, especially on news related or like trending type of content. Old videos might rack up a few little views each week, but not a lot. There you go. So it relies heavily on fresh content. They're going to scupper that. Because although you've got all the big YouTubers out there, and they're obviously grumbling at the moment, but if all the little YouTubers give up, because they're not really earning anything anyway, and all of a sudden you say, well, what little revenue they are getting from them, well then, they're going to feel the pinch, aren't they? I thought so. YouTube will. Surely will. Right, okay, so now I've got to just remove. What I do I put masking tape, decorates masking tape on first, and I glue the pattern on top of that. And that way it allows me to easily peel off the pattern. Otherwise, you get all glue residue left behind, which I don't want. Okay, I'm going to sand the faces anyway, but you know, it probably doesn't make too much difference. Still got a little bit of wood in there. All right. See, this is what's quite good about this saw. It's proved it's actually quite a good saw. That little bit of wood there that just came out there, right? A little bit of oak, tiny little bit of oak, very thin, right? But because this is actually a really good heavy fret saw. It's probably from the 70s, 80s, something like that. But it's I bought it second hand and it was just full of rust. It's completely just stripped it and done it all up, whatever. But yeah, and it's painted. In this case, I painted it. And it's because it's got fully adjustable bearings at the back here, which you can't actually see them, but it's fully adjustable bearings at the back there. There's very little play in this top or bottom bar, so yeah, it works a treat. Because if that was out of true, you wouldn't be able to do that because effectively that'd be a wedge and that gets stuck. But the fact I can push that in like that, and push it back out again, it just proves that it's cutting at 90 degrees. And perpendicular to the piece of timber, but also it's parallel. Each cut is pretty much parallel, unless you push too hard on the blade. The blade bends backwards, and then you'll be creating a bit of a curved cut, which wouldn't be very, very good. You can get little fret saw machines, lightweight ones, depending on what you come with it. They're fine for plywood or thin bits of wood, but this is like 20 mil, but 18 millimeter oak. I was cutting through with a little tiny blade like that, and not getting hot. That's not warm at all. So it's it's a good saw. It is really, really a good saw. But what did I pay for? I think I paid about 70, 80 euros for it. Picked it up with a wheelbarrow, as you do. So yeah, I was and then Baby Yoda. So I'll sand him up in a second. Did he have a nose? No, he ain't got a nose. He's got eyebrows, but I'm not doing the eyebrows because they look silly. I could do them with pyrography, but I don't think I will. I think I'll leave them off. So I've got to make sure that's at the right angle, which is going to be more like that. So I'll put that, just cut that off with the saw at the right angle, sort of in line. So we've got a flat bit, and then we're going to use the linisher to. We'll do that now. Let's turn this off. Gotta have Star Wars, haven't you? Not that one. That one. Over the cables. Wires everywhere. Bit of a divot, isn't it? Now we'll take it to the other saw. To the right arm saw. I think I need to get some little ball joints, swivel ball joints. Easy as cameras. So, because there's nothing to hold on, there's one trick you can do. You get one of these mats, put that in, like so. Anything that's going to grip, not in line with the blade, but just so you can hold it on there. Yeah, because you get grip on there. You push down to that, and that grip nicely on there. And that way I can trim the bottom without, sliding about all over the place and having to be against the fence. That's it. working this, not quite more angled. That's him. That's good. Right, so let's go to the bench. Oh, what did it do that for? That's not right. What is that on the bench? What was that one? Bench. Silly me. As you see, the keyboard out. This I'm gonna rip this apart. Let's see whether I can separate the keys for these F keys. I might use some separate keys, but there's a circuit board in there. I don't want the rest. So cheapy. All I want is the cable, and the bit does the processing, but also the button bits for the F keys, because they're the key. And that, if I can have 12 keys like that, that'd be ideal. Because I'm doing different groups of cameras as well. Then you see, he needs a bit of a sand. Now, I don't even notice I had to sand a bit more than I would do normally, because there was a divot run down here, which was like a saw cut down the side here. So do what camera that one. Like I said before, I'd like to get into a flapper wheel, like a flap sanding wheel. They run really slowly, but they're kind of like looks like a polishing mop. It isn't. It's got a very fine abrasive in it. It's great for doing these little nooks and crannies, you see. All the bits that are hard to do. Not aggressive, it's just, you know. This is going to be black anyway, so I'll probably either just paint it black, probably paint it black at this time of year. Because the ebonizations, I can ebonize it using a solution that I have. Actually, I haven't got any left at the moment. I need to make some more up. But the solution is literally wire wool with wire wool with vinegar, and then the wire wool dissolves into the vinegar, and then you get your iron sulfates and all that. It's iron sulfates, yeah, iron sulfates, and that reacts with the tannins in the wood, or the iron acts with the tannins in the wood, and turns it black. But it actually looks a bit muddy to start with, like a reddy colour. But as soon as you get the dust off the top, it's literally black. So they call it ebonizing. It's not ebony, because ebony is natural wood, so I do feel really bunged up. I could do it live using my neti bottle. Does anyone on here know what a neti bottle is? It's disgusting, but it's instant relief. There's literally a bottle, if you don't know already, that you it's got like a nozzle on it. There's various sorts. Modern ones are more of a plastic bottle you turn upside down or squeeze. Needles Yard ones are squeeze type bottles. I've got both. I bought one from China as well, which is actually really quite good. But when you're in woodworking, you're dealing with a lot of dust, you can get that off your sinuses really quickly. You literally basically wash the bogies out of your nose and sinus. Make your eyes water, I'll tell you. Lovely. But it works, and it's definitely worth doing. But it is instant relief. You're feeling a bit bunged up because you've been working in a dusty environment. No matter if you've been wearing masks and stuff like that, you know. Every single machine you've got needs some form of dust extraction on it. And that's all very well, but not all machines have it. Not efficient, not good dust extraction. And that's where a lot of people go for the Festool machines, because they do. They do have very good dust extraction systems. But not in fact, even they're not infallible. You still get dust in the air. You might not think it's there. It don't really matter if it's like, I don't know, a cloud dust, or whether it's just fine dust you can't actually even see. I'm sure in the summer, like when sort of spring, when the sun's low, watching the sun come in the window and it's catching on all the little sparkles of dust, so you breathe all that stuff in. And what is dust? It's not just wood dust. It's human skin. It's insect exoskeletons. It's insect poo. It's whatever you've brought in from outside. It's ground this, ground that. stuff that's blown in from outside. And you got hell, what is it? It could be, you know, rat poo. Who knows? You know, so it's we know it's bad. There's no argument there. So the best thing you can do is obviously reduce the volumes of it by obviously keeping your house clean, but or workshop in this case. There's a virtually an impossibility. You know, you're chasing your tail all the time. You've been doing this long enough to realise that. But I'll tell you what I do have in the house. Don't need to be on point there before. I use air filters. We've got one in the because I bring dust in the house anyway, because the workshop is attached to the house. We have a dust filter, a level art dust filter, quite a tall thing, about 4 foot tall, big round filter, air filter, 5-stage carbon filter, and that thing's brilliant. You know, it's automatic. It comes, you know, if all of a sudden you've got more dust in the air, or you start cooking or something like that, you crack, like, you know, it'll come on. I'll just come on automatically. It'll speed up. So go on to auto drive, go on to yeah. Anyway, it goes on to steroids. That's very good. You know, we've got a reasonable sized one in the bedroom, because there's obviously a lot of dust in the bedroom. People don't realise what there is. Dust mites, dust in the bed linen, and all that sort of stuff, all nasty stuff. And yeah, and we've got dogs, as you know, so that's obviously an added issue. And regarding obviously dirt and dust or what have you. So so we've got one in there. What else have we got now? We've got one in the hallway. There's the kitchen and the lounge. It's the big one. We've got one in the office, which is probably a bit too big for the office really. It's quite a good one, and that's one of the reasons I have that is because of my vinyl. Otherwise, static. Everything sticks to your records or your plans and the dust and what have you. And plus, I've got obviously, because you've seen what my office is like, regarding computers and stuff. It's it creates an awful lot of dust. A lot of static attracts it all. So all this stuff you have to bear in mind. You know, and if you can't capture it, if you can't prevent it, you need to try and not capture it. If you can't prevent it from getting airborne, you need to. I feel we have to do something to prevent it getting into our lungs. Unless we're going to walk around with a face mask on all the time. So I'm not about to do that, because that'd be really annoying. Just skewering his eyeballs. Cut little bits in there. Time to get them out, because you don't want to stuck to the paint. I'm going to use paint. I think I will use paint in this case. I normally ebonize, but it's because with ebonisation you've got to wait for it to dry, in the sense of the liquid is soaked into the wood. And the weather, obviously, as you probably know, means it's winter. It's it'll just be a bit of an issue. It'll just take ages. I want to get into the post for the customer. That's better. That's good. I'm quite sad about YouTube really. What's you know, where it's heading, because I think it's we go on about censorship and stuff like that, free speech. You know, I think it's what's getting a bit much. But you know, it's like I understand we need we need to control some of it. Some free speech has to be controlled, especially if it's obviously illegal. But I don't understand why we can't say anything now. That's what it feels like on YouTube, anyway. You can say more on TV now. You can say the F word on TV if it's past a watershed and what have you, can't you? Can't on YouTube. Not anymore. You know, when you get these big channels and that, you know, the quality of their videos and what have you, they cost money to produce. You know, Mr. Beast's videos, you know, for instance, his videos, he's a big channel, but he spends a hell of a lot of money. You know, plus obviously the money he gives away. You have to think, okay, well, how do you recoup this? You know, one guy he's another gaming channel, he's done a 6-hour video. That's just like a series of clips and what have you done over the year, and linked them all together. Done a really nice job, but it had to be edited, and he paid an editor to do it. And he was saying this video cost him £4,000 to produce this video, thinking it's going to do really well on YouTube, and then YouTube demonetised it. So, you know, well, okay, they're bigger channels, they're bigger, you know, they obviously do quite well anyway, but they ain't gonna do very well if they can't monetize. You know, if even like Max, what have you, you know, he's got to be careful. Luckily, he ain't like me. I'm a bit offensive at times. I know I am. Really, doesn't really add into the videos. So sometimes it doesn't really matter. But on some videos, they're I don't know how you're supposed to call somebody out for being the C word, without actually calling them the C word. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. I'm a simple person. I'm simple in the head. Have you noticed? Right. The thing about this channel, the Woodworking channel, if I carried on working on that, because this channel is older than All Shorts. It's been doing, you know, it's been doing for years, although I didn't really do anything on it, much on it anyway. But I should have really just stuck with this, to be honest. And stuck my head in the sand regarding Brexit. You know, it's very hard to when you live in the EU. France, hence, you know. Now, I'm trying to get the arises off, just gently, because you want, if I'm going to use paint, the paint is not going to stick to a 90-degree aris, you know, like a sharp corner. That'll literally come off. Just trying to make sure just taking it off just enough to so everything sticks. I have to admit, Mandalorian, I did enjoy that. I wasn't so keen on the late ones, but the original one, yeah, the Mandalorian with the Baby Yoda, I thought that was quite enjoyable. A bit childish sometimes, but you know. Oh, I watched a film last night with the missus. It was on Netflix, and although I don't really watch too much TV anyway. We sat down and watched this film. She said, "Oh, what's film?" Okay, watch films. We watched this film. I can't remember what's it called. Oh, what was it called? It's got Cuba Gooding in it, and basically it shows his struggles of growing up in school, what have you. But hey, how he and his brother, you know, really turned the corner. You know, Cuba Gooding, obviously, you know, is a black geezer and what have you. And although it didn't go heavily into racism in this film, which I I have to admit, I actually quite liked that. It was a really heartwarming film. Anyway, it's a true story. It's about this geezer who ended up being a brain surgeon. That's what he ended. This lad, with all his efforts, ended up being a brain surgeon. And what thing that really got me, I thought, was their mother. You know, she was having mental health issues, what have you, and she ended up going to a psychiatric hospital. Yeah, but you know, she admitted herself, which she didn't have to pay for. They paid for. The hospital did. They said to help her. Anyway, she did, and she's gone away. The kids didn't know. The two boys didn't know. Anyway, she went away there for a bit, and I really admired that, because it's like, you know, you have to admit there's a problem. When there is a problem, you have to admit there's a problem. You know, otherwise you're part of the problem, aren't you? So, like Brexit, see, if you don't admit Brexit is broken, well then, well, broken, it was never mended in the first place, was it? Brexit, you know, it was broken from day one. But you know, if you don't admit there's a problem, well, how are you supposed to fix it? Yeah, like maybe rejoin the EU, that's not going to happen. But although what Guy Verhofstadt's been saying recently, you know, it was quite interesting to see or hear. But anyway, this woman, she ended, once she come out and have the other kids all happy to see her and all that. Anyway, she managed to get herself this job as a cleaner for this old guy in a big house, beautiful big house, grounds, whatever. Anyway, as a cleaner, and this guy clearly very intellectual, what have you. When he first saw her, I got off of a guy who's gonna be a racist, whatever. He sort of looked her up and down. He's like, okay, what are you doing here? So you know, but he ended up being a really decent bloke. You know, to the point of you know, not criticising her at all. She said, oh yeah, the kitchen floor was ready. What's happened to the kitchen floor, bud? She's going, oh, I'm sorry. So it's shine. I can see my face in it, and she's all been all apologetic. When it comes down to it, then she says, then she realised, oh, I was in a compliment. She says, well, the last cleaner wasn't very good. She says, he said, oh no, that was me. Oh, okay. That was quite comical. But the thing that got me, I'll get back to what actually got me. She was there clean, looking around, what have you, doing what she's doing, clean. And she sees this TV, really old TV, one of those like glass bowl type TVs, sitting there, and it's literally covered up with books, all these old books. And when she looked up into the eaves of the building, towards the ceilings of the buildings, look all the way around. She's in the library, see, or in study, and there's like books. Like, it's a really intense library. I mean, literally, sort of all these ladders sliding about and stuff like that. Really intense. She asked him the question. After she saw the TV, completely covered in books, she asked him, well, have you read all these books? She says. And he says, well, pretty much, I reckon. He goes, and then what's pertinent about it? When she got home, she then put a curfew on the kids regarding watching the TV because they actually had a television, and she put this curfew on. So it's in the sense that you can pick so many programs. They're obviously uptight about it. You imagine taking a tablet away from the kids these days, couldn't you? So that's why I suppose why it's pertinent. So anyway, she restricted them on the television. Heavily restricted on TV, but said, tomorrow you can go to the library and get a book, or get some books or something. Anyway, the kids were hooked on reading. It just if it wasn't for that, it transformed their lives. It really did. Because the other thing is, you've got to think about obviously what Benjamin, who ended up being the brain surgeon, he's performed the first Siamese twin separation. Yes, Siamese by the head. And how many lives has he changed, if not saved, because of her actions as a mother? It just shows how important parenting is, doesn't it? It's just well, I failed. No, I got good kids. There you are. I've been rambling on without paying attention to what you guys are saying. What is? Right. Am I still here? Am I still here? I thought I shut it down now. No, I don't. La 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 la. What about using, instead of the C word, you use the other word for cat? Yeah, I know, but what about the guy who got struck off for saying, coming? Here, Marcus, I think diddle 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 was a main god. Oh, okay. Simon says, sounds like YouTube wants monthly contribution but not pay content creator. Yeah, basically. Because they're still putting ads on the videos that are live, even though we're not getting any money for them. So they're still getting their money, but we don't get it. That's pretty cheeky, isn't it? I think so. Oh, I am still here. Oh, that's good. Thanks for that, Mad Monk. That's been the wonder. I was feeling all alone. No comments, hardly. Anyway, I'm yabbering on, I know. So anyway, I'll put that to one side, then we're going to do some sharpening. I'm going to first, though, go over there and just, well, I'll do it over here, so I'm going to grab that and do it over here. Just quickly spray that so it can be going off. I'm just going to bring my Lazy Susan to you. There's black, that'll do. My Lazy Susan's one I made. I made my Lazy Susan out of a couple of bits of old chipboard. I'm going to buy it if you can make it. What's the point of doing that? Very ingenuitive, is it? So just doing it, make sure I'm in frame. Got to be careful, there's a delay. Oh, there I am in frame now. So yeah, just literally just two discs I cut out of an old bit of kitchen unit. Stick these knobbly bits on so it's easy to spin around. These on here are literally just screw caps, little plastic screw caps. You know, if you get PTFE stick-on thingies, they'll do the same job. You know, what we call sliders, but I use them for sliders. And the actual pivot itself is just a piece of copper pipe. So I just create a hole in there, and whack a little wax around it, what have you, and as you say, it spins quite smooth. That's fine. Perfectly good enough. So the problem with this is that I won't be able to do both sides at the same time. Now, if I leave it like that, and risk of painting it and painting it and painting it, then what's going to happen? It's going to be all wet, and then it's going to fall over, and then it isn't very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it down. I might have to put a series of holes in this later, so I can actually just... You know, that's not a bad idea. I've got to put a hole in here anyway later. So I might as well do that now. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that now. So put this in the vise. Be careful when you do this so you don't break it. So gently put it in the vise. I'm going to grab a 6mm drill bit. And that way I ain't got to keep trying a double-sided sticky tape. 6mm drill bit. And some 6mm dowels. Ooh. Well, I've been in a very good bit that in. Cut an end grain, you see. So make sure I'm going in 90 degrees. I don't normally do it like this. Just trying to keep myself under the camera. Something to go by. A visual aid. Ooh. I do. Yeah, that's good. What I can do is stick one of these little incy-weensy dowels in. What I've already made a hole in there, I did. Now, if you use biscuits, like biscuit joiner, use Ziploc bags. Yeah? In this case, I'm just going to... I made a little tiny hole there. I'll just put that over the hole. The reason why I say that is, not bad with dowels, but with biscuits. You know what a biscuit is? They're literally like little beach segment-shaped bits of wood, and you use it for jointing. But the problem is, your biscuit joiners creates a slot at one thickness. But what can happen is, your biscuits over a period of time, if you didn't use them within a short period of time, will swell. They'll take on moisture and swell. And you can't get them in the slots. So it's best to put them into a biscuit tin. Or, yeah, something like that, a biscuit tin or a Ziploc bag. Keep moisture out with some silica gel crystals. La da 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 da. Don't need a lot of glue in there. I want the hydraulic. Put a piston. Turn it around a few times. And you want to put it in far enough to... as far as it can go. That's good. Turn that off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got a hole in there. Just for the purpose of spraying it. Where should I put that? I'll put it near the outside edge, in line with one of those. Don't go too deep. I don't want that bottom of this sitting on there because it'll stick to the wet paint. So it's just enough to hold it. Just that's perfect. Perfect. Now some might argue, well, wouldn't you better doing it flat because then it'll, you know, be less likely to run. Just don't put your coats on too thick. Don't be tempted to just put a coat on, put it on one side, and come back to it and keep doing that. Oh, it's like merry-go-round, having fun in it. Oh, don't get dizzy. Don't get dizzy, baby Yoda. Yes, I've lost the plot. Right. So I'm going to get down to its level. The keyboard over there, got to spray my keyboard. It don't really matter, to be honest. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get into all these little nooks and crannies. That's where it gets difficult. You just do a couple of coats just to get you going, making sure, concentrating on the little spaces. Ideally, I'll get myself a little airbrush. You can really put very thin coats on and really get into all these problematic areas. Instead, using an aerosol can isn't really ideal. I will get places on there I won't be able to get like this. I can put you so look. Oh, it's good. That's pretty much doing it. Alright, let's leave that to one side. I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. Meanwhile, let's do some sharpening. Because it's got to be done. One of them jobs I keep putting off. Because after winter, I was very naughty during the winter. I didn't winterise a lot of my tools. And as a result, they've suffered. I hope the sound is okay, everybody. Making dinner while watching the Vegeta night. Oh, sounds lovely. Oh, I fancy Vegeta. But I can't. No. No Vegetas for me. Sounds rude. No, I'm on a diet. I'm on a keto diet, so it's basically no beer, no wine, no spirits. So no alcohol, basically, obviously. No alcohol. No carbohydrates, which means no flour, which means no bread, no Vegetas, no, pita bread or anything. Anything that got carbohydrates in. And you've got to eat copious amounts. It might sound strange, but eat copious amounts of fat. Yeah. You will get rid of your fat by eating fat. Sounds strange, but it does work. Been there, done that. Basically, you get yourself into ketosis. So, effectively, instead of burning sugars for energy, glucose for energy, you convert your fats into energy instead. Some people say it's unhealthy, what have you. Some people say, oh, you'll put the weight on straight away. I think the only reason you put weight on straight away is because you've gone lazy and started not watching what you eat. Because that's what I did. Because I lost quite a bit last time. Yes, Wally. I have got a Wally yet again. And I Wally. Have I got a Wally? Yeah. What is it you want, boy? What are you after? There, Wally. What are you doing? See the wires on the floor? Oh, God damn it. What are we going to do with all these wires? When I find the right places for all the cameras, so... What? What are you going to do? No, that's preemptive. No, that's like a preemptive strike. No, not a preemptive strike. You gotta. Okay, ready? That's not training. That's just I'm gonna do it anyway. Go on, turn around then. Go on. Oh dear me, that's. You're getting old. What the hell now, aren't you? Huh? He's an old boy now. He's 13 now. It was his birthday last week. Well, let's get to sleep at your eyes, look. You get moles, aren't you? Get moldy. I tell you what I do find, mate, is that eyes aren't so bright, big as they used to be, and there's features change. And he's got a little mole on his lip, and then you get rid of because I'm gonna have to remove it because I didn't have anything in my hand, Wally, because he keeps biting it and it keeps bleeding, so I'll have to nip it off. What? No, what are you looking for? Another one. Oh, you haven't dropped any on the floor, huh? Look at him. He's still looking. He's giving me the eye a minute ago. Wally? Wait. There's nothing there. Huh? What are you hoping, are you? This is why he's put on shitloads of weight. I said a naughty word. He put on lots of poopy, lots of weight. Yeah. Aren't you? So it's quite hard not to remember. Not to use any kind of profanity, because that's not you're not allowed to use that word anymore. No. But you can say hell and damn, according to the policy. Yes, hell and damn is okay. See how mad it's getting? You can say those words, but you can't say anything else. So we'll get a bit crazy. Let's get this camera a bit higher. There you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some sharpening. That camera's it's not going a bit stupid again, is it? It's one of the reasons I want to change it. I don't even know it was last time. That was getting a bit glitchy. Because this camera actually requires a lot of bandwidth. It's a hungry camera, it is. You have to use it on USB-C. You can't use it on just USB. Yes, what? I know. What's in here, Wally? What one? They all gone, look. See, the dog treats there. As in, moist dog food. So, we're going to do something with this later on. Might play about with it tonight and see what I can find, see if it's possible. I've got another one as well, so if this one doesn't work, I've got a little Microsoft one I can have a look at, see whether it's possible. Because it really depends on the circuit board, because these are just crappy keys. Like, for instance, they'll be like little pressure sensitive, all on the actual PCB board. My one in the office is a proper mechanical keyboard with like cherry reds, and they got literally physically soldered on keys. So it's a different thing altogether. But these cheap RC type. Oh, I just said that. I said the A word. These cheapy type keyboards, you can't obviously. God, this has to be so hard not to use any kind of profanity. It's become so kind of integral with the human language, because of humans, you know. Don't you think so? I think so. So integral these days with human language. So it's a wobbling. It's on top of the sand, you see. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna end up being my. If I can get them keys. So for instance, if I press that one, it'll go to the bench. There you go. If I press that one, it goes to that one. Well, obviously got the other cameras. That one, and that one, and that one. And then we've got the group cameras, such as those two, those four, and those two. So I want to find a way of actually taking the information out of that. Like take the keystrokes or the key mapping from this, but have it ideally with each camera if I can do it. If not, I'll just have to have it set more centrally mounted. If it's on there and there, maybe on the end of the bench, well, I'll go from there to there to there to there to there. Well, I can easily press a button, can't I? Yeah, change cameras over. I could use a Stream Deck, but they're glitchy as well. I've got one in my office, and that's glitchy. So just simple F function keys. Anyway, that's not what we're going to do. We are going to do this. And I'm going to be using diamond because it's quick and it works. So, and I'm doing a lot of chisels. So I don't want to use my sharpening system that is over there. Just there next to the lathe there. I use that purely for my plane irons because I don't want to damage my my actual sharpening stones. Because when you use something narrow on something on a traditional kind of stone, you can put gouges in it. You can't in these. You know, these aren't expensive. You know, these are. I think these are a tool pack or something on Amazon. And I bought these, and they're something like 30 quid for the three diamond sharpeners, and I've had them for ages, and they've been so good. I mean, they're really good. The only thing is they're not really fine enough. What are you doing now, mate? Where are you off to? So you got 600, 400, and 300, which is not fine enough. So I do finish off with a finer one. It depends on what you sharpen. So we're going to need some form of lubricant. It's KY jelly. Where's my KY jelly gone? Oh, where it is. My KY jelly. Windley. So, okay, that's not right, is it? Let's bring it back up again. Oh, dear me. They're never in the right place, are they? Now you can't see the sharp. Let's bring you back there for that one. Right, so anyway, so I'm going to put on 2 cameras in a minute, because I've got that one here as well. And we'll look down there, I should capture that. So, we're going to do some sharpening. I need that. I'll style this out of Caroline's drawer. Drawer. She's in a size that she's tiny. She's a little, yeah, she's wee. She is. She used to be a 14 at one point. Making it in between the kids. And she's got tiny hands. There's Caroline. Tiny little hands. Yeah, getting gloves. When we going on the old motorbike, getting motorbike gloves to fit Caroline was almost an impossibility. We did find some Hungarica ones, but that was a nightmare. Anyway, I'm going to do some carving chisels. That was my plan. Because I've allowed them to get a bit pitted as well, which isn't very, very clever at all. I've got a set of Power Fix. They're just cheapy chisels. I have not even used these yet. I bought these probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and I haven't used them because they come in such a state you have to kind of like completely regrind them. But the steel is chrome vanadium, and it's actually not bad. They just need some work to make them so they're usable chisels. But let's concentrate on these ones first. And these are got a hooked gouge, and then we've got well, there was a gouge, just a very shallow gouge. All different, the same carving chisels. You have all different shapes, sizes, V's and flats, and all sorts of stuff. Gouges, obviously. So we're going to sharpen them up. That's what we're going to do. So let's get ourselves back onto the bench camera, I think. Might need to rearrange that a bit because it's moved. Anything is kind of in the wrong place. That's a bit better there. What am I not going to do? Move it over there. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's it. This thing here is my I mentioned the other day. It's my thicknesser. I'll just quickly show you. And it's one of my thicknessers, and this was for sale. Used it on one job, which is a staircase. So then you wear and tear really is that one job plus a bit of dirt from actually not being used, just sitting there. But it's a quite good machine. It's a Metabo DH330 or something. I think it's a box fixer. A really good little thing. But anyway, we've got these chisels. These are what we're going to do. So I want a mat. Wally, stop looking at me like that. You make me feel guilty. You make me. Well, he's still sniffing. He's still sniffing. He's sniffing for stuff. So get my rubber mat. Don't worry, they're not sharp. Or what I call sharp, anyway. Now, when I do this, because I gouges, I have that and that. And these are a couple of diamond sharpeners as well. These are only cheap as well, actually. But with a gouge, you need something like that. But also, I have a series of other stones that I tend to use. I use that one, which is the well, it's 1200, 1000 grit. That one, final one. That's not the one I want though. I have that one, which is even finer. It's finishing off with because it's not. Remember, it's not flat, is it? It's not flat at all because it's not flat. Right, I need to get my other stones. My drawers, everything's a mess. Right, that one, that's a nice set. That's that, that's that, that's that. Well, I don't know what I'm with all those. Will I be handsome? Or will I be rich? No YouTubers cancelled me. Hey, Sarah, Sarah. No? Okay. Try shut up now. Oh dear. Oh, they hate me. Right. Where is everything gone? Gone. Can't use that. Can't use that. Yes, I'm going for my drawers. Oh, not them drawers. Oh no. Oh, innuendo. Can you do innuendo? Is this the end of innuendo? I'm going to have to come up with code words. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm going to have code words. Now, when you use like a scythe, what have you? You'd have like a torpedo sharpener like that. They're useless, so. People use like, like in water, constantly in water, but it's so stupid. And you've got different variants. You've got various torpedo type. That's actually a natural stone one, that one is. There it is. Now that is a proper water stone, that one. A bit of slate, really, I suppose. When we get to that stage, and I'm going to need... Oh, it's over here. Didn't think of that, did I? Well, strop is over there, but never mind. We'll sort that in a minute. Right, so... It's curved. Obviously, it's a bit of a problem. Now some people say, oh, just take it onto the old grind and grind it up and make it all ground. No, no, you just got to do it by hand and just go with it. The one I actually used the most is actually this one. Probably that and used that. No, this one I used a lot as well. I never used to carve anything particularly big, but this I used to use a hell of a lot because you can actually get quite a nice, sculpting fashion because of the shape of it. You see, yeah. And you got spoon gouges and all sorts. But first of all, we're gonna start by on the 300 grit, which is this one, and I'll use a bit of Windoline because it's less likely to make everything rust, as in the stones rust. You've got to be careful of these things, because they're cheapy ones. They're not using a piece of steel to impregnate the diamond into it's just plated. It's just plated, and because it's just plated, it'll rust eventually. So what I tend to do is it's more that kind of stroking action. Right, like that. So I'll put it down like so, pulling it towards me, twisting at the same time. Like that. What's that, Wally? Where are you off to, mate? I've got to bribe you with treats to keep you here. You going outside now, fella? Oh dear. It's like a tail between his legs. What's that all about? Oh, I upset him. And as you go, you can probably see on there. Can you see it's shiny on that edge? No. Just a few swipes like that. I've actually literally already started to put a opposite burr, which I can feel it, in that direction. But this is where the problem comes with any carving chisel. You need so many really different types of sharpeners to be able to sharpen your carving chisel. But to keep an eye on my little blue light, make sure that's still on. You see, oh, you know what happened the other day? Yeah. Right. So see, it's that sort of motion. Yeah. And you got some mechanical action as well because you're putting pressure down, but also you bring it to you. But you're trying to keep that chisel at the same angle at the same time. Then, if I was just doing a ordinary chisel, such as arguments like it's an old Draper chisel or something like this, yeah, I could use something like this and a gauge, not a gauge, a guide, like this. So you'd place that in your guide. You could then use your digital angle finder like this one. So you'd set that sort of on there, so that is like zeroed on there. Oh, don't want to probably zero it. Yep, zeroed on there, and then you'd put it onto here. Then you could set the angle to say 28 degrees or whatever you want, and then it'll be fairly spot on. Yeah, and it'll be repetitive. So every time you sharpen your chisel, it'll be the same every time, which means you won't be creating a nasty round. That's the problem when you're doing things by hand constantly. In fact, you can start rounding off your secondary bevel, and that also needs sharpened. So I've actually got to do everything, to be honest. A lot of it is my fault because I didn't take care of them. I didn't winterize them. So busy with all shorts, I just didn't think, and because of that, in this damp environment in this workshop, needless to say, everything rusts. Not very clever. That's what happens if you put all the eggs in one basket, isn't it? And that's what I've done with all shorts. Don't get me wrong, it's not going anywhere. I'm going to carry on with it. But most YouTubers are saying that you need to move away from the advertising revenue. I don't know how else how else you're going to do it, to be honest, or how else you're actually going to. Because not be funny, people aren't going to pay for me. I know I've got some people there that obviously me Patreon and stuff like that on the other channel, but I obviously haven't got enough Patreons on there to make it viable. Start a small channel, but also I don't know what I can offer. That's part of my problem with that. Other than what I'm already doing, I just feel a bit lost with it, to be honest. It's time as well when you're already kind of like ready, when you're doing a lot of videos and you're really stretched already. You know, people think, oh yeah, just yapping at your camera. In some people could do that, but you have to do your research, and it actually takes quite a bit of time. You know, it's hard. You know, and also it's timing as well. My videos, I don't always get them out at the right time. This is an oil-based one. This one is, so I got a bit of oil over here. A bit of oil on that. An oil stone, shaped oil stone. Just backing. Like when you have this chisel, for instance, this one, you'd try and make sure the back is flat. With chisel like this is the back, and it's curved. So you have to kind of like, yeah, it's really hit and miss. If it takes a bit of a while to learn and to feel what you're doing and to understand when to put, to know when to put your pressure on, when not to. Yeah, that's feeling good. But be so careful, you just mess it right up if you're not careful. So let's find a bit of wood. So it's good to have something there because it's quite hard to tell. So I can't shave with a gouge. I'll end up doing a skin graft with a gouge because it gouges. You don't really want to do that. So what we'll do, by hand, you don't use a hammer or anything, to see whether or not it will cut, which it does. Yeah. So nice thing with this chisel, you can actually do like, not this bit of wood, rubbishy bit of wood, bit of old pine, but you can actually texture with it. You just kind of like do like scooping action like that. You can create like a lovely texture. You do it in layers, but not with that bit of wood. Definitely not with that bit of wood. God, it's not. There are nice pines out there, like piranha pine and pitch pine and whatever. This is just a bit of old larch or something. Or hemlock. I think it's hemlock actually, looking at that. So it's not bad. It's not. I don't think it's sharp enough yet. You just got to go with it though, until you're satisfied. Sometimes it might be just the fact that you've rolled the burr over. Instead of removing the burr, you rolled the burr like what we call the wire edge. So when you sharpen, you're creating a burr. Yeah, sort of rolling the metal over, and it creates this burr. We call it the wire edge. Sometimes you just end up bending it over, and it ends up just blunting. You're trying to cut with the wire edge, which you need to remove that wire edge. Normally you do that with a leather strop, which isn't in front of me, but it's behind me, so it'd be off the camera. Unless I move all my cameras about. I'd need about 20 cameras to make that work, probably. That's just not feasible, because the computer won't run them. This feels quite fine, so I'm quite happy with that. We're going to go around the back again, so I've backed that off. A bit more down there, I think. The oil that I'm using is literally just fresh engine oil mixed with a bit of white spirit. That's all it is. Just don't smoke near it if you're a smoker. That's it. That's good. So now I use this one, which is diamond. So diamond generally you wouldn't use oil, although sometimes I do. Sometimes I use a very thin oil, like machine oil, or just white spirit. Yeah, the stuff you use to thin your paint with. If you've got an oil-based paint, or lots of paints these days are water-based, aren't they? For good reason and also bad. That's the thing about environmental stuff, say oil-based paints and stuff like that are bad for the environment, but they last longer. It's a bit of it's a bit of a catch-22 situation, isn't it? They're definitely harder wearing, and definitely resist rain better than the water-based paints. Advantages. So yeah. Is there a compromise somewhere? Do you protect the wood, so you don't have to replace the woods, and that you don't have to cut another tree down quite so soon, and have something that's oil-based? I don't know. What is the compromise? Now, me and the missus have been talking about building a house, We talked about it a few years ago, actually, and things got a bit kind of run away with us. But building another, I built a house before, but building another house, keep hold of this place for the time being, so we can build it here. But I want to do an eco house. We call pet panels, so it's like sandwiched insulation. So you have a Sterling board, which is orienting strand board on the outside, the inside. You sandwich insulation in between, but you pre-wire it and all that sort of stuff. But, so you have to obviously plan it all out properly. But do it in a modular sense. And I'd like to do like a Mexican Sea type house. That's what I'd like here. So you have like one set part of the house great for the guests and what have you. And then you've got your living bit basically. That and my studio. So that's what I would hope for. And Caroline's really, she's really interested in the idea. And then one of the reasons why is this house, although it's lovely, it is a lovely place. It really is. It's a very old French farmhouse, made up of 2 French farmhouses, and outbuildings, what have you, and land which we planted those trees on, and which is, it's absolutely lovely. So we might even build it on this piece of land, on this site, because we have got the space. It's not as we haven't, and there is road access, sort of, so it can be worked out. But we want something that we know that we can manage when you get older, what have you. You know what I mean? Just without ending up in one of those little shoe boxes. Yeah, that's not too bad. I think I can live with that. So that was kind of what we would like to do. It won't be for a while though. One thing I need to sort out our finances, because they are absolutely chronic at the minute. Sort of like hand to mouth at the minute, so it's really frustrating. Thank you two for that. Oh, that's perfect now. That's it. That's what I want. That's it. That's perfect. That's it. One done. Just going to run this up and down the sides a little bit. Where's it gone? Oh, right for my eyes. Make sure there's no little bits of rust on it. Burrs and rust. Yeah, so that is what we'd like to do. Then maybe we would then, other than obviously we'll keep the land where we put the trees on, because we want to make sure, we've already talked about this, we want to make sure that we can be custodians of it, because we've got obviously our plans. We don't want them scuppered by some idiot who decides they want to cut all the trees down or something stupid, because that would be absolutely ridiculous. Because we put all the effort into it, and you don't want that, do you? So yeah, that's kind of the idea. That's good. Good. I'm just removing, there's little pitted bits on there where the little tiny bit of rust. So I'm just running this diamond sharpener along the back of it, around the back, twisting it as I go, just to make sure all those bits are being removed. And they have. Smooth. They're smooth. So we're going to do a little bit of coat of oil. Oh, that camera. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? So we use that's little old marbles chisel. So we'll put that up here along with these others after I've dropped everything on the floor. So that's one gone. What was that I dropped on the floor? Oh, nothing. Yeah. Well, ain't nothing, but it's nothing to worry about. And I need a drink. I had a drink in there. Where's it gone? Where's my bottle gone? Oh, it's over there. I bet it's finished. Looks like it's finished. Oh, it is. That Winderley, what that tastes like? Yeah, it's gone. Oh, hang on. Oh, I've got a bottle over here. Oh, here we are. Crystalline. Water. Right, so next one, what should we do next? Let's have a look, see what you're saying. Hello, Lee, buddy. I hope you're well. Hey, Lee, I try that touch port. I'm having a bit of trouble at the moment. It keeps disconnecting, and it doesn't seem to sync properly. So I might have to reinstall it. But on the whole, it's quite good. But I might try and do it manually with F keys, destroying this keyboard. I want to keep things simple. Keep things simple. Because simple things generally yeah, simple things tend to work for me. It's almost lunchtime for me. I have to take my dog out. I've done it already. In a bit of cold. Oh, that was lovely and sunny today. That was a lovely day today here in France. So I wish you luck, Gingers. Be careful. Good luck, says Orc. Madman, what? No drink? What's the point of living? No drink whatsoever. I haven't drank since I started. But I've lost weight. Yeah, I was 96.7 this morning. And I was 99. So I'm losing it. I'm only doing it for food, but 5 days so far. But what I find, but when you do keto, once you get into keto, I'm not in keto yet, but once you get into keto, the weight just falls off. I mean, it's really quick, and you wee a lot because you shed loads of water. Lovely. Evening all, says Lee Corn. Wally's wondering why you're talking to yourself. Probably he's disappeared now because I stopped giving them treats. But right, isn't that, eh? Little devil. So yeah, I'll show you, Lee. I've actually ordered another one of them cameras. I'll have 4 of those cameras now. Because it was Lee who recommended the cameras. It was quite funny actually because I had already ordered one of them, just to see what they're like before. And Lee tells me about this particular camera. It's exactly the one that I bought. So the reviews that I watched were obviously the ones he must have watched, and I have to admit I'm impressed with it. Very impressed with them. They were like, I paid €16 each. That's so cheap. So this one, we're currently on the Logi Stream Cam, which struggles a bit on my computer, to be honest. I got in the workshop, and I got that one, which is a Logitech 930E or something like that, which is okay, but even that's a bit glitchy sometimes. And then we go on to that is one of those cameras. That's an Orky camera. That's plenty good enough, isn't it? I can't see any problem with that. And then that one there is the other Orky camera, which is set up a bit strange at the moment because I just want to get it onto the fret saw machine. And then I've got another one over here, which is on the. It's basically it can either be on the lathe or the pillar drill, or I can get it onto the hollow chisel mortar as well. Then I've also come up into groups, so like that, and 4 as well. But then those 2, which is what I was using when I was cutting my things out on the fret saw earlier. So yeah, it's quite good. So I won't be able to switch between them. I'll just try and make it interesting. When I get in the swing of things regarding doing some projects and stuff, I won't be able to cover things spontaneously from one place to the next, because obviously in the workshop, when you're making anything, you're not just at the bench. Carving, yeah, you're probably just at the bench and maybe to start with at the bandsaw. Same if you're choosing the lathe, you might be at the bench, but also at the lathe. Alternatively, not at the same time, because you can't. No, but yeah, I'm really impressed with it. So I've got another one of them coming, and I'm gonna put that Logi back into my office, because it's a bit of an expensive camera to be having in this really dusty environment anyway. Whereas those Orky ones are almost like throwaway cameras, aren't they? They're just ridiculously cheap. The one I ordered last night, which will come tomorrow afternoon, that was $14.99. That was, but I did have to pay postage on that. The other ones were $16.99, but postage was free. It's ridiculous. That's some seedy discount here in France. And it's just so cheap. You can't buy Orky on Amazon anymore because they were naughty with their reviews. They were paying people to do reviews and stuff. Yeah, and yeah, against Amazon's policy. So they got took off Amazon. So I heard. So yeah, polar vortex in the NE USA, northeast USA. Temperatures might drop -49 Fahrenheit. Oh, that's cold. It's a bit cold, bit chilly there, bud. Bit chilly there. Jasper. He's been to his sheep. Yeah, I bet you have. Yeah, yeah. Don't go we don't really want detail there, Jasper. Just been to see his sheep. Okay. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about what's going on. I'm going to do a live when I get back live on the other channel. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday before the other guys are on. But I'm going to do a live about the fact that what actually happened on my channel regarding being cancelled by pesky YouTube. So yeah, that wasn't very helpful. It really wasn't very helpful. It isn't very helpful. So yeah, when you're using water stones, you've got to soak them. That's an oil stone, just like your ordinary India oil stone, such as the ones in this drawer over here. Which they're Norton India oil stones. That's diamond, diamond, and these are diamond. So let's do this one next, which has really pitted. That's not very clever, Marcus. I think this is a Marbles and Son as well. Oh God, I can't even remember. Carlton Bennett. Have I got a magnifying glass? I have in the office. Have I got one here that might be powerful enough to see that? Not there. Oh, no. I don't know if you can see through that. These look like Caroline's glasses. She don't clean her glasses, she don't. All greasy fingerprints all over them. I think, Caroline, you need to clean the glasses. Can you see through them? She's young, see? Yeah, right. Right, I can't remember what it is. I actually don't know it. Southern Brothers. Oh, it's not. It's upside down. It's upside down. No, enough of it there. It's quite hard to see. Very hard to see, in fact. A lot of these two are boxwood handle. That one's boxwood. Some of the best timber you can get for handles is boxwood on tools. Really nice. But anyway, first of all, because it's really rough at the minute, I'm going to clean off that rust. It pitted. It's just from being on the rack. You know, in my box, because it's been in the toolbox on the wall, and it's humidity. You know, I haven't used it enough. All because of your shorts. Problems it's caused. Yeah, so I'm going to do a live show. I'll probably make a video as well about it, but I'm going to do a live show about what happened. I'll go through the policy, the YouTube policy, because I think a lot of people don't realise how difficult it's going to be for creators. Big and small. I don't. From what I can see, they're all getting hit. These algorithms, you see, don't. They don't pick and choose. They don't say, "Oh, we'll skip PewDiePie. Oh, we'll skip Mr. Beast. Oh, we'll skip that big channel, whoever it is." I don't know. No, they don't. You violate the terms. You violate the terms. Don't matter. Don't matter who you are. That's going to really hit YouTube, big time, if they're not careful. Right. So same action. It's curved. It's a curved blade again. Let's put you on the other camera. Ding. Really, I need to move that. I need to come up with a solution with this so I can actually move the camera from side to side as well. Some kind of rack system. I've got an idea, actually. I do have an idea. I might have a solution. Obviously, if I can move the cameras about to where I need them to be, in their vicinity, well then that renders the cameras more useful, doesn't it? So I can get them closer to the actual job at hand. Like at the moment, that camera could do a bit lower on top of here. Or I could say, okay, I could lower this camera over and I could have them both on. I could do, say, for instance, that one. No, that one. That one. No, it's not that one. It's that one. Would it be that one? Ah, that one. So I could do that, maybe. Come on that way round. I'll get there in a minute. Yeah, like that. I could do that. That's quite two different angles then, you see? Not yet. You'll feel the burr. Feel the burr, you'll feel. Got a bit flat, this chisel, in the sense that the curve is not mimicked on the end of the actual cut properly. I need to try and increase it a little bit. It's my dear granddaughter's birthday, and I can't go because I've got COVID. So I wouldn't go either, just cold, so to be fair. I'm not one of these people who go around other people's houses if I'm ill. Because I think it's unfair. So I say same to them. Why the hell do you come around here if you're flipping ill? And they still do it. Right. I'm sure that's not what we used to do when we were growing up. We used to avoid people. Can't avoid people anyway, to be honest. It's either that or they're avoiding me. There might be more more truth than that. Your show the other day, Lee, was very good. I was actually, I was quite enjoying that. You and Reagan, you're really come leaps and bounds, aren't you, with it? Have you looked at your early shows, Lee? Have you watched any of the early ones again and compared them with your more recent ones? Because they're really getting quite good. I could learn something from you, like structuring a show. That would be a good idea. I can't wing it. I have a lot of time these days. I just overstretch myself. Is what I've done. So anyway, you overstretch yourself, and you think you try all this other stuff, and you do too much, and you end up you don't do any better for it, and you end up everything going to pot, or it's worse, or it's worse for it, or for the fact you haven't actually planned it properly. I'm beeping. Who's that? Oh, it's Caroline. Can I come and pick her up? Oh dear, so that's gonna put pay, isn't it? Oh dear, yeah. So that was my coup. I'm gonna have to go soon. Not just yet. That'll wait. I'll pick Caroline up from my granddaughter's party. She's gone. Caroline's gone. So yeah, she's gone to spread my germs. Even though I got them off her in the first place, although she's okay now. I'll tell you what, the cold. You remember this? I've never had so many flipping colds. In fact, I very rarely have colds or get ill. Very rarely indeed. I just before Christmas, about November time, I had that cold and I really bunged up, really quite rough. Worse than I am now. I got really, really poorly. Then again in December, then it went right into January. That was a very fun Christmas. And now I've got this. I've never had so many blooming colds. And every time it's when people turn up from England. Including my missus, who just come back from the UK. She, that's her gave this to me. And the other one was when my son Matthew came. I got this flipping cold. Visit for quite a period of time Matthew comes, but yeah, so it's just great, isn't it? Everyone who turns up from the UK, they're just spreading their germs, British germs. Oh, special British germs. That's what they are. I'm just cleaning the back of the chisel off because that's better. Still a bit pitted. It could do going over the wire wheel. But something this thin on the wire wheel, a grab it, it could be quite dangerous. Now I have got a burger on there, which is good. So that's the fine. That's the well, none of these are that fine. That's a 600. So that's the finest. The fine ones are the oil stones over there, or like my water stone. Flip it over. But I wouldn't use, say, for instance, that to do that side of it. The reason for that is you end up gouging your waterstone. Diamond's better for, in my opinion. I prefer to use the diamond for that purpose. Let's go on to the 1000 on this one. So I'm basically pulling back and sort of pulling back and twisting at the same time, like that. So it's more of a rolling. So yeah, you're sort of rolling on. That's what you do, like that. Okay, that's good. Definitely better. That's 1000 grit, that one is. And when I do my other sharpening, when I do it on my plain irons, I go down to 8000 grit. The last one, which is a waterstone, is really, really fine. It's just... But those plain irons deserve it, and because they're real pucker Victor plain irons, and they're hand forged. And they are so good. They make all the difference to what yeah, than the standard stock plain irons. I'm not so sure that's like. I haven't done the back. I haven't got rid of the burr yet though. But there is a burr. Let's get rid of that. Right, I'll have to do that one's gonna be quite tricky. Told Caroline, we said, I'll contact you when I want picking up. I said to her, okay, then I'll turn my phone off. Okay. She's all stressy then. Winds her up, poor girl. Right, what got you? Bit more, I think. That's not even real wood, that side. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's getting there, a bit more, I think. I'm not 100% happy with that. Let's use this fine one. Let's do it by hand. That's the thing when you're doing these chisels, because they're all funny shapes, obviously. You just got to kind of like go with it, really, haven't you? Nope. Create a burr. Oh, yeah. Normally I use the strops. That ain't right. I rolled it over the wrong way, I think. From there. Okay. Aha! Oh, that's loads better. Look at that. Remember, this is a bit of old crappy pine, so it's not going to be brilliant. A lot better than a bit of basswood or oak or. That's right. Yeah, happy with that, I do. Right, I suppose I just send her a message quickly. Otherwise, I'll get in trouble. Oh, that just won't do. I'll just say okay. I'm just delaying things a little bit, see, that's what I'm doing. I'm sure she's okay to wait a little bit. Right, let's do this one, then I'll make a move. So there's another gouge. This is a straight gouge. It's got more of a sculpt to it, if you can see there. Well, you know, it's definitely that way. It's got more of an obvious curve to it as a gouge chisel. It's still carving chisels, yeah? This one's actually not that blunt. So don't go too crazy. Let's check the angle. You've got the same difference as even ordinary plane or chisel, where you've got a primary and a secondary grind. Now, lots of people take you straight to the angle, to the bench grinders, but I would say don't do that. They get hot. Even if you've got a Tormek, which is like a big sharpening system, they've got like a large wheel, and obviously anything that's round creates a scallop. Don't, you know. And diamond sharpeners like this, they're obviously a lot cheaper than a Tormek. Tormeks are, you know, like 400 quid for a decent one. You know, for standard one, that's a standard Tormek. They're good. They're good for. I'll tell you, they are good for when you're doing for sharpening lathe chisels, because you sharpen them so many times. Because they get hot, you see, and they lose their temper unless you're using the high-speed steel. High-speed steel chisels, which last a lot longer, even though they take longer to sharpen. So you sharpen them with something like a Tormek or diamond. I still use diamond even on them. I just like, you know, I quite like the sharpening process. I think it's all kind of part of it, really, isn't it? You know, in woodwork, it's not just the. If you enjoy it, that is, if you enjoy the woodworking, and you're not just into screwing bits of wood together with like pocket screws and stuff like that, and just using biscuit joiners to join bits of wood together, which are okay for doing flat panel work. But I wouldn't recommend them for jointing, you know. If anyone watched Norm Abram's New Yankee Workshop years ago, and although I did enjoy it, he used a flipping biscuit joint to join like cabinet doors together on the corner joints. I thought, what the hell? They're so shallow, you know, and thin. You know, you can't. He made the biscuit joiner very popular. Did Norm Abram. Still enjoyed watching these, you know. There you go. I think pretty much there on that one. So look. Obviously it's bigger. It's just gonna try and take a bigger scoop. Yeah, that's good. Remember, this is a rubbishy old bit of wood, but it's doing it. So if you're doing carving work, that's fine, because you should be constantly you sharpen on the go basically. Just if you're using a hand scythe or something like that, you'd keep something nearby, you know, like one of these little sharpeners and something to back it off with. Is just run it over occasionally while you're working. You do it like that, you won't get like a lot of burrs and wire edges and stuff. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's good. That's another one done. No one bites the dust. Oh, all my chisels. Let me show you all these chisels over here. And a lot of these, some of these new, some I've had for a very long time. You know, doing what you do. You know, you collect, don't you? These are the cheapy chisels here, which we're going to go through and probably regrind and make them into usable chisels. They were set for about 20 quid or something like from Lidl's or something like that. And they are chrome vanadiums. The steel is actually okay. The steel's not bad. If anything, you can probably get a finer edge than you can on these, on this more modern steel. Well, proof being the pudding. I might eat my words on that. Well, they might be absolutely terrible. But for what I could tell by one of them I've sharpened, I think it's this one. Yeah, that one. It's actually, I was quite surprised. But then if you look at my other chisels up here, this is what you call a mortise chisel, which is a square edge chisel. It has a wide. It's wide at this point and tapers down to nothing. And the reason is because we're mortise, you know, like a mortise and tenon joint like you'd use in doors and stuff like that. You have to do a lot of levering, you see, so it has to be thick at this point, otherwise it'll just bend. Now if I show you a bit of a beast of a mortise chisel like this one, you know, it's very old, but you see everything's pitted. It's not Robert Sorby, this one is. There's all that pitting on there. You know, that's from the humidity in the air, you know, and not being used enough. You know, and then I've got this little Stanley Bailey. This is a modern gouge. It's got awful grind on the back grind on there. This was actually gifted to me recently. Let's might play it that way. it was gifted to me recently, and although it's an okay chisel, and obviously, yet again, it's just this season, just hanging up in this workshop, the humidity. So, and I can't just, you know, heat this workshop, you know, for the sake of it. But what I should have done, I should have made sure everything was coated in oil before I'd forgot about it, basically. So that needs sorting out. But everything is sharpening. You know, the old braids cast steel. This old chisel here doesn't look like much, does it? It's such a good chisel. It's a cast steel chisel, so it's not like a blank that's been sharpened and hardened. You know, it's been cast. It's been on the anvil to be created. So it's not cast. It's been, you know, molded effectively. So it's really hard. I've got another larger gouge here. Another marbles gouge. Yeah. Boxwood handle again. Oh, sorry. Boxwood handle. Tell you what, let's get you on the other. Get back on there. Look. Yeah. So yeah. So it's got a boxwood handle. But yet again, pitting again. That's just humidity in the air. I've got my two pairing chisels here. This one here, pitted. Yeah, it's not that old. This one. This is an old Marley, I think. It's a Sorby again. That's Sorby. That's an older Sorby. This one actually is Dymic, and this one, it's Leslie Isles basically. It's actually not very old at all. This one's only about what, 4 or 5 years old. I bought this. And the point about it, the reason why I bought it, I want to get across a more half lap joints, what have you, because of its length and its flat bottom. It's a pairing chisel, so you can pair across your joint, right across the joint. So if you've got like a, I don't know, 150mm wide piece of wood, and you're trying to pair it across. So that's why I bought this one. And this is a 25mm. 25 or 20? I think it might be 20. It's 20, yeah, 20mm. So yeah, oh, I've got that one there. That needs to be done there. And this one here is a braids. Yet again, it's kind of used to be shiny and it's not, and it's you know, all the rust come off my hand. See, and it's there's no braids. It's got a little bit of a bend in it, but actually it doesn't matter. It really helps. But it's very, very thin at that point. And it's meant to be. Yeah, that is what I call a proper pairing chisel for most cabinet work. This one here, I showed you a minute ago, is almost like a mortise chisel. Almost like, yeah, like a mortar to cut mortises, but it's not. If it's doing like half laps and what have you, so you can get across the whole piece of wood, or a bridle joint. So some I've got, obviously no, I've got loads of chisel over the other side there as well, like, as you can see. Some chisels I seem to go to quite regular, seem to be my go-to chisels, and other ones I sit there and I hardly ever get used. So you've got this big old mortise chisel here. It's not as old as it looks actually, but that I bought this new actually years and years ago. And this thing is it's a beast. So if you're doing any like green oak work and stuff like that, so you see the thickness here, you're not going to bend that in a hurry, are you? So my light's still on, good. Just make sure you can hear me. So yeah, so you see a chunky that is at that point, and then it tapers, and that's a lovely chisel to use, and that's had some weddy. That's not the original handle. That's the second handle I put on it. So yeah, it's a great tool. So but yeah, it's like everything has a purpose. Another thing about this I just noticed, with these socket handles like this, like ferrule comes into our socket, the handle then goes it's fixed into it. Because this handle is dried a bit more, although the handle needs replacing if you look at it. Again, ash, I think I remember right, these were quite good for these. Yeah, but what you can do, dunk that in water, just leave it in a bucket of water, yeah, and it'll soak the water up and expand into the socket again and become tight again, and it won't move. So I feel a little bit of movement in there. So all chisels have a purpose, they have a job to do. Now, but no two chisels are equal. I can demonstrate that if I show you a typical bad chisel, and it's even the same make in this case. I can show you another bad chisel, which is a different make. Yeah, even worse, this one is. Right, if for instance you want to have a bevel edge chisel, like that, that's what we call bevel edge chisel because the edges are beveled, yeah? A firmer chisel, like, is more like, well, that's a mortise chisel. We can have a firmer, a bit like that other old one I showed you a minute ago. That's a firmer chisel. That's a firmer chisel. That's square edges, yeah? Well, it's not bevel edge, it's square edge. That's a firmer chisel. And these are bevel edge chisels, right? This old Stanley 5002 is, I've had this a long while now, which also, actually it's quite sharp, I shoved it the other day, but it's pitted again on the back here, a little bit, not too bad. Anyway, that chisel is a good bevel edge chisel. And the reason for that is not because it's Stanley, because Stanley aren't what they used to be. Yeah, don't start thinking Stanley are great tools, they're not, they're Black & Decker now. I can't remember what it was, I think it was 2014 or something. They got bought out by Black & Decker, they're amalgamated, so it's Stanley Black & Decker now. Anyway, this chisel here, if you look at the bevel, it's very thin on that edge. What that means is, if you want to use this for pairing around like the shoulders of a dovetail joint, a joint that's shaped like a tail, right? That you can pair the wood around it without bruising the sides of the dovetail, because that area there is really thin. Now this is also a Stanley 5002. But you look there, this is a smaller chisel, but that bevel is actually even thicker. It might be made at might be a different period of chisel, which I think is later, but that's thicker than what this one is, and this chisel is much wider. This was, I really love this. I use this chisel a lot, and it's a really good chisel. But even worse, this is a. These aren't bad chisels. Don't be wrong. You've got this Draper Expert. They're okay. They're okay. Little chrome vanadium chisels. If I want to give it some wedding, I'll go for these. Yeah. But you wouldn't want to use this, would you? Look how thick that is. This is really that. There's no difference using that than using a firmer chisel. It's too thick on this edge. So you really got to know, have some idea of what you're going to buy. Okay, she's saying to me, when will you be here so I can wait outside? Or so I'm just leaving. No, I don't know. I'll say leaving in 5 minutes. Leaving in 5. Okay. Yeah. Oh, my dog's come back in. Oh, Bear. Sebastian. So yeah, you have got to bear in mind, just think of what kind of woodwork you want to be doing. Do you want your tools to be universal? That is universal. You can use that to cut, to pare around or cut yourself, I don't know, a mortise joint, or whether it's, or even a dovetail. Even you could pair off it with dovetail. Maybe it's a bit on the big side of dovetail, but you could still use it because the design's correct. It's how it should be. That one isn't quite so bad, but it's not brilliant. But that one's actually quite terrible. It's really just the firmer chisel, but they call it a bevel edge. So if you're buying your tools and what have you, you need to think about these things really. You've got to think to yourself, what do I want to do? Is it the right tool for the job? And there's some lovely chisels out there. There really is some really nice tools, not too much money. Kirsted's nice for the Three Cherries set of chisels. Not bad at all. Stanley do what they call a Sweetheart range, which is a bit of a copy of an old range of tools they used to do called Sweet, and they're not bad for the money. They're really quite good actually. Traditional styling and what have you, but they really work, and you can really make them into really nice tools to use. You're right, Sebastian. What do you want to treat? I'm going to have to leave you in a minute because I'm going to have to go get Mummy. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, which camera would that be? Would it be that one? Bum, 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 bum. No, that one. There they are. What do you reckon? Sebastian? Good boy. Wally. They're little. I break these down to little tiny things. Yeah, they're not big. Little tiny little things. Almost like training treats. So they start off that sort of size, and then I break them down into little tiny things because they're getting fat. And they pester. Anyway, I'm going to have to love you and leave. Let me just see. What have I done with phones down here? Let's see what you guys and girls are saying. Use a Dremel. I'm not using. I got a Dremel or a Dremel copy, but no, I got no need for a Dremel. And I'm a man who's done a lot of modelling and stuff like that, and I still never used a Dremel. I use hand drill, but never a Dremel. A gauge. Yeah, use gauges. But not. We can't use gauges on. You'd need a gauge, a different gauge for every single. Yeah, you need a gauge for every single chisel. It's just not going to happen. You just with carving chisels, you just got to learn how to carve. To sharpen them by hand. That's all you can really do. And it's go back again. Yeah, back again. That's all you can really do. So I saw a movie on YouTube, says Hawk. Someone who made a camera rail out of a curtain rail. Yeah, what I was actually thinking about was, like the you have a bar with rollers hung over the top, bit like a sliding door bar on top of the door, something like that, mounted above my bench, all the way along the bench, so I can slide the camera backwards and forwards to the bench, but also have it so it can go up and down. That's what I was thinking. So like a rail, you could almost make it part of track it, as long as I don't pull the wire out. That could be quite cool. Plague Island, says Lefty Boater. Yes, it is. They keep coming over here with their germs. Do a bit of lino carving, then print t-shirts. You could do that. Do screen printing as well, couldn't you? I've done lino carving years ago. God, I think that was with the kids and stuff. We used to do that. It was quite a bit of fun. Crikey, lino carving. That's a blast from the past. It's almost like potato printing. Draw knife and enclave comes out. Yeah, I got my draw knife should be up here. One I use a lot. Yeah, it's on the wall over there. I use that a lot. I think you've seen me use that before, actually. I did not use that in the live stream. I bet, actually, to be fair, Mad Monk, yeah, thanks for the reminder. I think you might be right, because she just pinged me. She said she's going to be waiting outside in 15 minutes. I'm not going in, because obviously I've got to pick her up. Anyway, so wait, but it takes 15 to 20 minutes to get there. Should I tell her or not? You might make that 20 minutes. Alright, anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. That's yeah. Anyway, I will be going live on the other channel to explain what is going on regarding that channel and what happened, but also talk about other channels as well, how it's going to affect the politics of YouTube, and it's really not great. It really is not great. It might be quite interesting, actually. And I'll try and get some clips of other people's opinions and that as well. And some of the people I've been talking to, and it's just, you realise that even though my videos are private, I could still get strikes for, even though they're private. And one person told me, who is a YouTube guru, quite a respected geezer actually, he actually said some people have been getting strikes for videos that are actually being deleted. Because technically they're not deleted, they're just basically taken off the platform. But they're still there. I suppose it's to do with future claims and stuff, I suppose. Yeah, and the other thing is this chargeback thing is very worrying. I've got funny things to do with fraud though, so it might not affect most YouTubers. But chargeback, let's say for instance you've been paid money and then they can take it, claw it back off you, because you've got a strike all of a sudden on that video. Maybe that's a video that's done really well, and then they're going to take the money up straight out of your bank. So yeah, not great. That's not great at all. Anyway, it's time for me to go because I've got to pick the missus up, because Mad Monk told me, My poor missus, she does have some sticks, she really does. So yeah, bye bye, yeah, everybody, and ta-ta. Oh dear.